Today we are going to continue looking at our similar figures. Now, the only difference is we'll be taking a look at them in the context of word problems. So we're still going to follow all of the same steps. The only new addition here is that oftentimes we will have to draw our own picture or potentially just put numbers on the picture like the example we have here today. So here we notice that we are going to be trying to find the height of this building in our picture. We see here we have our two similar triangles with the building in the shadow and the stick in the shadow. We'll note that these are both 90-degree angles, and like it tells us here, since these lines are parallel, these two angles are congruent. You can remember we called these our corresponding angles. And since we know that these two triangles are similar, then we can go ahead and work to first, like it says in step 1, make sure the numbers that were given are put onto our picture. So we're told the length of the stick is 3 meters. The length of the stick's shadow is 1.5 meters. And the length of the building shadow is 8 meters. So now that we have our numbers on the picture, we're going to find our corresponding sides to make our scale factor. So these are the two sides that do not have the variable. This is what we were making as our second fraction yesterday. Alright, so we see here we have the 8 from our big triangle and the 1.5 from our small triangle. So we will use these two numbers to create this scale factor. So this will be 8 over 1.5. So now to find the length of x, notice here we're just going to see which side matches up with x. So x in the big triangle matches up with 3 in the small triangle. So we'll have x over 3. Then to set up our proportion, we're going to set that equal to the scale factor we got here. So this will be 8 over 1.5. Hopefully then we remember from the last previous few days that when we have a proportion, so a fraction equal to a fraction, we go ahead and we want to cross multiply. So we'll have our 1.5 times x equals 3 times 8 is 24. So then we'll take and divide both sides of our equation by 1.5, and we get that x equals 16. Then we'll note here that for these word problems, we generally are given units, so we want to make sure to include those in our final answer. We see that up in the original problem, all of these lengths were in meters, so that means our final answer is also in meters. Alright, so we can take a look at another example here. For this one, we're using a mirror here, and this tells us here that these angles are congruent because light reflects off a mirror at the same angle it arrives, meaning this angle is congruent to this in our two triangles. Plus, we know that each of these triangles have these right angles, so therefore we know that these two triangles will be similar. So we can follow those same 3 steps that we did up above in example 1. First, we'll mark our picture. We're told that the height from the ground to Jim's eyes is 150 centimeters. The distance from the middle of the mirror to Jim's feet is 100 centimeters, and the distance from the middle of the mirror to a point directly under the traffic signal, so that's going to be this length, is 450 centimeters, and we're told in the original problem that Jim wants to find the height of the traffic light, so that will be our x. So for our scale factor, we will go ahead and use the 450 and the 100, because these two sides will match up, we were to reflect and then dilates the triangle, that's what would make them match up. So our scale factor will be 450 over 100. So now, for step 3, to find that length of x, we need to set up our proportion. So here, our x matches up with the 150. So we'll have x over 150, and that's going to equal the scale factor we found in step 2, so 450 over 100. So now we can go ahead and do our cross multiplying. So we'll have 100x equals, multiply our 450 times 150, and that gives us 67,500. Alright, well note you could go on your scale factor and simplify this down, then you won't have quite so big numbers as we write this out. But either way, you will get the same answer, so you do not have to simplify that scale factor. Alright, but we will go ahead here and divide by 100 on each side. So that gives us 675. Again, we need our units. In this problem, everything was measured in centimeters, so our final answer will also be in centimeters. Alright, now on your lesson page for today, you have another worked out example, and then a few practice problems to try on your own. Alright, also feel free to go back and review how we solved those proportions in our earlier lesson.